Hi community of awesome, I'm Ava J and this is Bookish Pixie. So before I get into this week's topic, I have a special announcement to make and it has to do with this book right here. Into the Black's pre-order campaign is here, which basically means if you live in the US and you pre-order Into the Black from any retailer, you will get goodies in the mail. I apologize to my international friends who are excited and have pre-ordered Into the Black or will pre-order Into the Black. International shipping is really expensive and one day, hopefully that won't matter, but unfortunately, that day is not today, and it matters. Sorry. But for everyone else, if you pre-order Into the Black by the release date of November 14th, the prizes you will get include 2 signed book plates, one for Into the Black and one for Beyond the Red, 2 bookmarks, one for Beyond the Red and one for Into the Black, and a signed postcard with a little note by me. All you have to do to get it is first pre-order Into the Black and then go to the link, which I will provide below, and there is an email address that you can send your receipt to along with your mailing address, and that's all it takes. Okay, so that fun stuff out of the way, let's talk about this week's topic, which is foreshadowing. Foreshadowing is hinting at a twist or a significant event that comes later in the story. The best foreshadowing is subtle. It doesn't spoil what's going to happen, but it hints at the event just enough that when it happens, it makes sense to the reader, and the reader will look back and go, oh. My favorite kind of foreshadowing is the kind that you don't notice until after the event has happened. And then you look back and you're like, oh man, all the signs were there. But as a writer, how do you do that? There are 2 main ways that you can plant foreshadowing into your book. First involves plotting ahead of time so that while you're drafting, you know what's coming up ahead and what you want to hint at. And the second is revising and adding in the foreshadowing later, or most likely both. The key though is to not be heavy-handed. You do not want foreshadowing to give away what's going to happen. But how do you know if you've hit the right balance, if you've hinted enough without spoiling what's going to happen? The answer is critique partners. It is really hard to figure out if you've hit the right balance of hinting enough without hinting too much without critique partners. This is reason like a million that critique partners are really necessary to the writing process. There are a lot of balances in writing that are really hard, if not impossible, to figure out by yourself if you're hitting correctly, and foreshadowing is a big one. Generally, when I do foreshadowing, it's either something that I insert while I'm drafting because I always plot, so I kind of know what's going on, or it's something that I pull out more during revisions. It really just depends on the manuscript. But either way, no matter what method I use, I always need to check with my critique partners to see if I'm giving away too much or too little. So basically, when foreshadowing, remember, balance and critique partners. So that's what I got for today. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe and comment, and I'll see you guys next week.